These are the seedlings that I planted this week. You can see that some of them are starting to germinate already, which is exciting. And over here there's some more, and the alyssum there is coming up. Obviously that doesn't take very much effort. Down here, not much happening there, but that's okay. They've only been in a few days. And over here, right at the back, there's the Madagascar Beans, and you can see that they're starting to push up, so I think we'll see them quite soon. Here we've got some beans and various other things. These are my capsicums that I nursed through the winter inside, and they've got new growth coming on them, which maybe you can see. Here we are. These ones were just planted the other day, so I'm not expecting to see anything happening there yet. As were these ones here, nothing happening there yet, that's fine. And these ones were planted probably 3 weeks to a month ago. So, good range of tomatoes coming up. Absolutely no mini bell tomatoes. Don't think they germinated last year either, so they might just be a dud batch of seeds. No capsicums, no chilies. I think those things are weeds in the back. It's possibly just too cold for them at the moment. Oh, and there's a slug right there. Right, I'm going to get rid of that. Excuse me. This is one of the things that I did this week. There was the beginnings of a bed there. It had hay there for quite some time. And you can see that there are 2 comfrey plants coming up. They've been there all winter. They died back and they're coming up again. So that'll be good. And up there underneath the hay shroud is a Kiwi Berry, which we are nursing at the moment. We're still getting frosts and it's not enjoying the frost, so we're being very careful with it. It has had several patches of green at stages, but they keep dying off, so we're wanting to keep the patches of green that are there at the moment happening. These are 2 other beds that were hay that I covered over with soil and manure this week, so they're ready to have things go into them once our seedlings have actually come up. The manure that we put in there was cow manure, which is aged, and sheep manure, which is also aged. And then this bed here is new today. I started that yesterday. There's a bit of a ditch there right next to the fence, which has got a retaining wall underneath the fence, and the ditch had I think blue metal in it, so just gravel. So I put a whole lot of sticks in there that I broke up from our pile that we had never mulched because they're a bit too sticky. So they're all broken up underneath, which gave me a bit of bulk. Then there's a thick layer of hay, and then there's a thick layer of soil on top. So that should be right to plant into as well when the seedlings come up. And I put manure in there as well to give it a nice, well, some nice goodness. Then over here at the fence, we have, hopefully, our white crystal grape. We are looking at this every day for signs of new growth, and we think that that is one there. It seems soft, and we think that that is one there as well. So we're just watching them every day to see if they get bigger. It's very cold here at times. We have frost a lot, and we have been told that this one, the white crystal grape, grows okay in our region, so we're hoping. It had lots of leaves last year, but we have been a bit concerned that it wasn't going to make it through the winter. So this one here is our Dwarf Gris, and I probably said that really badly, but it's got some new growth happening there, which doesn't want to focus. It really does have some new growth there, so that's exciting. Then we've got our other side of grapes up here. They're not really doing very much yet, and that's okay. This one does have some new little bits, so we'll see how that goes. Then we come up here, and this has got our raspberries and blackberries in it. So we've got the summer fruiting raspberries down the back here, and some of them are starting to sprout. Some of them are trying, but they keep getting hit by the frost. We haven't actually put our wires up for our trellises yet. We'll do that later. There's no real need to have them done yet. And these are our autumn fruiting ones here. And so there's some good growth there. And just down here as well. But there's a lot of just sticky looking things. Then we've got 2 blackberries here. It's really a bit hard to see them because they're a bit camouflaged. They are growing. They were a gift from a friend. This one here is a young berry. And it's trying really hard. Nothing much happening. I mean, it has happened, but it got frosted, so we'll see if that actually manages. Then this one here, I'll need to look at this because I can't remember what it is. Oh, it's a Logan Berry, and it's got some new growth happening there. It's also got some bits that have been killed by the frost. It doesn't want to focus. Killed by the frost. So we'll just see how that goes. Then over here we've got our Boysenberry, and it's quite happy. We had that one last year just in a pot, so it's already had a year of growth, and so it's looking reasonably happy in this garden. Then up to here, I think this one must be the Tayberry because we haven't come across that yet. So it's looking quite happy with new growth. Then we've got 2 Silverberries. This one has never looked like anything very much is happening. We'll see. And then this one here has got some new growth. Just today it's looking a lot happier, so that's good. You can see that this one was propagated by sticking the end in because all of the sprouts are coming up basically the wrong way, but that's a legitimate way to propagate berries. Then we've got our 2 rows of blueberries. The ones here in this row are southern high bushes and rabbit eyes. There's a little one down there, not very much happening with that. I'm thinking that because they're ones for warmer climates, they're not actually surviving very well. Then this one here has been pretty dreadful. So that's why I've put the guard around it to see if that will help it along. This one here had more leaves, but it's got some flowers, and it does appear to have some new growth down the bottom. So we'll see how that goes. Then these ones here are our northern high bush ones, and they're doing a whole heap better because this is the right climate for them. So they've actually got quite a lot of flowers on them, so we're looking forward to having fresh blueberries this year. And this one's got even more flowers, so that's great. This one here is it seems a different colour than the other ones. It's a lot more red, so we've got every one of them is a different variety, and that's deliberate so that we can see how they go. There's going to be 10 different varieties here, but we haven't got them all yet. And then this is our persimmon tree, and you can see that it's very, very close to having some leaves come out. So that's pretty exciting. Then if we come over here, we have this one's a flame smoke bush. And it looks like a collection of sticks, but if we come in close, you might be able to see that some of those have got buds that are happening. You probably can't see that very well. Anyway, that'll come out in leaf soon because I can see that there is new growth there. So that's exciting. And then up here we've got various things in our windbreak. So there are ebbing silverberries and Old Man Saltbush, and there's a few acacias, some of which have not made it through the winter frosts, and one of which seems to have, so we may need to replace a few of them. Then this is our row here of hazelnuts, and they're all different ones because you need different ones to pollinate each other. This one's a Hall's Giant here at the end, and it's looking quite happy. Then this one here is an Ennis, and it's got lots of new growth on it, which is great. This one here is, that one there is a Lewis, and it's got some new growth down there, and it's got some little buds that are looking like they'll come out into something soon. This one here is a Tonda di Giffoni, and it's a bit slower than the others, but it's got buds on it, so it will come out into leaves soon. We'll just give it some time. because it's a bit slower than the others, that's why we've got the guard around it, to give it a little bit of extra protection until it actually comes out into leaf. And then this one here is our butler, and it's looking very happy there. So that's really good. Then over here, these are our market garden beds, and we've just chucked a whole heap of potatoes in there. So there's about 5 different types, some of which there's a section in the middle of this row right in front of us which has got nothing. Those ones don't seem to be doing anything at all, but the rest do, so that's good. So that'll give us a nice lot of potatoes. Then this row here, we've got some, down the front here, we've got some new seedlings of Chinese radish or daikon radish. So they're all going to come out. We've also put some in here at the end. Oh, there's one that's just popping out now. That's new today, I think. I've put them in there as a little bit of a windbreak, actually. I don't care if I don't get any radishes out of them, because we have wind that just sweeps across here, and it's been pretty nasty to our peas, and the peas don't really want to grow up. They're just sort of growing on the ground, so we'll see what happens with them. Some of them are flowering. I think that might be a sign of, please just let me survive. And then in the front here we have some beetroot. I don't actually like beetroot, but we thought we'd grow them, see how they go. And you never know, maybe I'll end up liking them. So the peas are looking very sad. And I think that the trellis that I put them on, I used baling twine, and I think it's too slippery for them to grab onto very well. And we've got our bok choy, which are looking incredibly happy, and we're incredibly happy that they're so happy. And then there's some celery in behind. The celery's not doing very much, but, you know, we'll give it time. Then we come along here, and you can see that there's some big bits dug out of the side of our bed. This is part of our ongoing war on periwinkle, and it just keeps popping its head up, and we just keep killing it with an organic weed killer. So hopefully we're going to win that war, but it's going to take a very, very long time. This is one of my columnar apples. That's a flamenco. We just had this bit at the end of the bed, and I thought, well, they don't take up very much space, so I'll pop some in. So it doesn't really have very much new growth on it yet, but it's getting closer. I think it's still a bit cold for apples around here. I know that down south a little way, they've got lots of even apples on their trees already, which I feel a little bit jealous about, but this is what we have. This one here is our almond tree, and it's already flowered. Probably won't, nothing will come of that, but that's okay. We're not expecting anything this year because it's their first year in. But it's got lots of lovely leaves, so that's looking really good. Then this one here is our Fantasia Nectron. This is not one that we'd planned to have. This one was a mistake given to us by the nursery, and by the time we figured out that it wasn't the one that we wanted, it was too late to return it, so they gave us the other one that we were wanting instead. So it's got some buds, flower buds, and some leaf buds that are starting to come out. And we will see all of this just really pop in the next few weeks, which will be exciting. Then this one here is the one that we actually wanted, which is a Sundowner Nectarine. And it's just got a few flower buds. But that'll come in time. So at least it's showing some signs of life. Then we come around here. This is part of the site of our horror of periwinkle, and the organic weed killer is doing a job. I don't know that it's going to kill it. We'll probably just have to keep on at it for years and years, but we're trying. Some weeds we don't mind, that one we do. This one here is a plum. It's a Santa Rosa. It flowered some time ago, I think. Yes, it did, but it's now beautifully in leaf, so that's looking great actually. Then this one here is a Prune Plum. It's showing just small signs of life. They all have different times that they come out. Sorry, I'm not really getting a good focus on that, but it's showing some signs of leafing. This one is our gold mine nectarine. So it's doing okay. It's got some leaves. I don't think that one's, oh, it's had one little flower down here, but nothing much there. That's okay, we're not expecting fruit this year. More Park Apricot is this one, and you can see that there's lots of leaf buds on that. Don't know if we'll get any flower buds, but these are all just things that we need to wait and see about because we've never had them all before. This is a Black Boy Peach, and it was being quite slow with any new signs of growth, but you can see that it's starting to get some now, so that's really good. Then this one here is a Shanghai Peach, and this one was given to me as a seedling by my permaculture teacher, and it didn't lose its leaves over winter. It's looking pretty unhappy, but well, we'll see how it goes. It's certainly not dead, so that's a good thing. Then this is what's making me terribly happy today. This is our Royal Rainier Cherry, and you can see that it's got some beautiful little flowers happening there, and I can't get it to focus on them, but anyway. So yeah, that's making me very happy, and there's going to be lots of leaves on that in the next little while as well. Then this one is our Amarillo Cherry. It's a bit further behind the others, but it's got some buds happening, so it will come soon. We're just being patient, we're just watching them as they grow. This one here is our Lappan's cherry, and you can see that it's got a fair bit of leaf happening there, which will burst forth very soon. It goes up reasonably tall, that one. And this is our Stella Cherry, and we had Stella last year. We got precisely 2 cherries off her. We don't know if we'll get any this year, but as long as it grows a bit more, then that will be great. We're looking forward to having lots of lovely cherries. And this is our May Grand Nectarine, and she's got a beautiful flower on her there, which is lovely. Actually, she looks quite a bit washed out in this. She's a lot more pink than she appears, and she's also got some leaves starting to come too, so there we are. Then on to our Wixen Plum, which has flowered, as you can see, and it's then got this sprout of leaves up the top. Turning around here, and this is into our pear and apple row. This one here is a pink lady apple, nothing happening there. I'm checking them each day, and sometimes they're showing a little bit of growth below the graft, so I'm knocking that off. But you can see that there are starting to be buds happening. It's not focusing well, sorry. This is a red love apple, and it is budding, but not anywhere close to actually having leaves yet. This is our Dwarf Granny Smith, and again, not a lot happening there, but in time. These are all going to be espaliered, but we haven't actually rushed to set them up yet. We've got the supports in, but haven't put the wires in yet. This is a Williams pear. It's starting to have buds coming up the sides, but it'll be a little way yet. Then on the end here we have another columnar apple. This one is a polka, and not much happening there, but well, they take their time, and that's okay. Now this one here is the most exciting of our pears. It is a Doyen du Commis, and it has some greenery on it, which is quite lovely and a lovely surprise. This one here is I'm going to have to look at the tag. A red d'Anjou pear, so not much happening there. So that is all the stone fruit and pome fruit. Then we come over here and we have our Genoa Fig, and it's desperately trying to grow and not having a great deal of success with all the frost. We probably should cover it up a bit more, but I think that there is some new budding growth on that, so hopefully as it warms up that will make it through. This one here is a red currant, and you can see that it's had a nice little coat of hay around it, but it's doing really well now, and it shouldn't be bothered by the frost too much anymore. This one's a white currant, and you can see that it's doing quite well as well. We've had them really covered up with hay to keep them safe from the frost. The reason why we didn't do that with the fig was because it's just so much taller and so much bigger. We probably could have wrapped it in a sheet or something. Then down this side here we have a black currant, and it's starting to get little bits of green. There's a bit down the bottom underneath the tag, which you probably can't see, and there's a bit up the top as well. Now along here we have a mulberry, which I'm not going to bother showing you because we can't actually see much signs of life in it yet. And all of the stakes that you see standing in the ground here, they're all our placeholders. Things that are going to go in but are not ready to go in yet because it's too cold. This one here is a red angel pomegranate, and we have no signs of life in there at all. We're not really sure if that's died or if it's still just waiting to burst forth. We'll find out soon. And then the rest here are things that need to be planted. So I just thought it'd be fun to do a video fairly regularly to see the progress of the garden over time, and it will change dramatically.